Welcome to One on One, brought to you by Nebraska Equipment in Seward. Eric Johnson with you. And no, it's not basketball season, but you do remember this fella. Not only he's a co-commentator, he's golf extraordinaire. It is Mr. Nick. And first off, I caught you halfway through the season here the way it's going. You're going like gangbusters. How's golf going so far?
Yeah, it started off, obviously the springtime gets a little nasty with the weather. So thankfully, with the investment in the golf program that the community and the school has made, we've been able to work in our simulators in Friend and in Milligan on the nasty days. But the practice every day for a month straight now is over. And the time of missing a lot of school and having to focus on keeping those studies up while we're gone and playing golf meets twice a week and practicing in between has started. And it's it's a pretty crazy time for the players and the coaches and the parents. I know I've got a couple of parents that wonder if golf practice actually gets over with before dark because their kids are staying afterwards and playing extra with their friends, hitting extra balls. Just they're putting in that work, and it pays off in the end. So very happy with the start, and we're starting to hit our stride here, and it's very exciting.
Well, and that's great to hear, and of course, it is great to have you because it's been many moons, and with golf season coming up. First and foremost, I'm glad you touched base on this. The investment that the school provided for the golf program. Tell us about that and how much of an impact that has made in the programs.
So from the way I understand it, there was a family in Friend and a family in Milligan that were looking to get into a golf simulator, and they worked a deal with the school, and the school purchased one as well. And so one of those simulators is in Friend in a garage that we have access to, and two of those simulators are in the old band room in Milligan that we have access to. They're very high quality simulators. So this is not just a mat and a net. There is what's called a launch monitor, which tells you how fast the ball is going and some other spin rates and things like that, some more technical jargon. But it also gives you that visual. When the ball hits the screen, the ball projects sort of like you're playing a video game. Those of you who are old enough like me remember the old Tiger Woods games. It's like doing that, except you actually hit a golf ball. And if you hit it left, it goes left. If you hit it short, if you top it, whatever you do to the ball, these simulators are pretty good. I mean, there's an error here or there, but most of the time it's doing a really nice job of giving you that immediate feedback that just a regular net does not. And so when we catch a bad day, we've been able to kind of go in shifts at the various sites. And you have the ability with these, with the software provided, that you can just go hit in a vacant range where you can make any shot you want. Or like I mentioned with like a video game, you can play courses all around the world. I almost had a hole-in-one on St. Andrews Pebble Beach number 7 a few weeks ago, and I have never been to California. So it's really neat, all of the bells and whistles, but the hardware of it and the getting down to it, as you like to say, brass tacks, is the guys and the girls will be hitting golf balls year round for the Bobcat golf program for years to come. And I know for the boys coming off of the winter, when you can't really get out, it makes a real difference for those kids that choose to get down there if they do so. And during the summer, I know the heat can be rough and whatnot. Sometimes you don't feel like going out and walking. If you can get into a simulator, hit 30 balls and call it a day, that'll help the girls get ready for their season as well. And of course, anytime we have bad weather during the season, that's also helpful when most other teams in the state are going to be not having practice. We are, and I think that gives us a leg up. So thankful to the community and the school for their investment in this program.
Yes, that is much needed. Sounds like, well, obviously the way Mother Nature has been, you can attest. Yeah, so at least you're keeping your skills honed, and that's the biggest thing. And for you, especially, Coach, this year, what a lineup you have! Incredible, stacked lineup of boys poised to make an impact.
Yeah, I mean the sheer numbers, having 16 boys on the golf team and 3 SMs, is just amazing for the program and the game of golf. To see so many kids interested in the game, but we've got a lot of competition at the top. Obviously, I think and anybody that knows anything about the previous Exeter Milligan or Friend programs knows that there has been some individual success over the last couple of years with some state qualifiers and just in general some good performances individually. But I really think that our team is going to be very tough for people to deal with as we round into form over the course of April and into May. There's when we get to districts, there are going to be several boys that are very disappointed that they don't get to go represent their school as the top 5, and it's going to be kids that are deserving of it, but the numbers just like the basketball and football coaches have had to do, volleyball coaches, you can only start and play so many, and you have to do what's best for your program and choosing those people. And I know that our boys are their team first, and they're going to be happy for whoever gets into those positions, and we'll do everything they can to help them further their game through competition at practice.
We're talking here with Coach Nick. It's one-on-one, brought to you by Nebraska Equipment in Seward, breaking down the brass tacks of it all, your lineup and what they bring to the season here so far for you guys. Kids standing out. You want to give a little recognition?
Yeah, I think returning a state qualifier in Carter Milton really has kind of set a high standard at the top of our lineup. Unfortunately, we were looking to have 2 returning state champs, but Jacob Clues had an injury during football and heroically played through that and got our team to the state final, which was amazing for that group. He sacrificed a lot, and unfortunately, part of that sacrifice is going to have to be his junior golf season, as his surgery is going to keep him from competing with us. But we know he'll be back in full force next year, and we're excited for that. But as far as this year goes, we've got 2 seniors in Andrew Vavra and Draven Payne that have really put in a lot of work. They only started golfing last year. I believe last summer they picked the game up, and then last spring they started playing with the team for the first time, and then this year they've really increased their abilities and set really nice examples for the younger kids in what your work needs to look like on and off the course, what your demeanor should be. And I think they're, even though they haven't been playing golf as long as maybe even some of the younger kids, they're really taking a leadership role in trying to help steer the team in the right direction and trying to push everybody to be their best. So, I think as far as leadership goes, the upperclassmen are our juniors and seniors. Not to say that our sophomores and freshmen don't have leadership qualities, but our juniors and seniors really are doing some really extraordinary things on the course. I see it every day. I see one of the best golfers standing right next to one of the worst golfers on the range, and given those little words of encouragement, those little little tips and tricks that, maybe I haven't got a chance to talk to that kid for a little bit during practice because I'm focused somewhere else. And I've almost got, a half a dozen or so other coaches out there with me. And it speaks a lot to the personalities and just the team spirit that we have, the camaraderie of the boys. And it's fun to observe. Eventually I do have to kind of get in there and do my part as a coach, but kind of hanging back and watching them sort some things out amongst themselves is really important in the game of golf, because while the rules have changed a little bit over the years to where during a meet, I can help coach a player in various situations. I can't be everywhere at once, and you really have to figure things out on your own. So being able to have a thought process internally and being confident in your abilities to figure things out on the fly. The older kids are really doing a great job of helping the younger kids think their way around golf a little bit, because it is really so much of a mental game. Also physical, of course, but the mental aspect is huge.
Now, what's been what's been one positive and one negative going through with boys golf this season?
As far as positives go, it's really, really hard to pick one. But I would have to say just the tenacity that these boys have for the game of golf. We played our invite yesterday. We played 18 holes in the grueling wind. I don't know if anybody else was outside. It wasn't
Probably
cold.
not. It was bad.
It was chilly.
Yeah.
And it was 20-mile-an-hour winds straight out of the north all day long, lugging 30, 40 pounds on your back, up and down the hills, and having to focus on hitting a golf ball for 6 hours. And we got done, and I think at least half of the golfers that competed, when I was leaving to come home and lick my wounds a little bit, they went out for more. Nice. And I don't know how long they stayed, and they might have been out there, having a little fun and dinking a little bit, but just the fact that they're like, I want more golf. 18 holes, 6 hours was not enough. I need more. So that's the biggest positive, is just how, and it's infectious.
Yeah.
I guess, and that would probably lead me to my one negative, is that I'm jealous. They get to play so much golf, and I want to play that much golf. But, I have
whole teaching thing you got to get through, right?
Yeah, I have coaching duties and tournament directing duties during the invites, and I do get out and get a knock it around with them a little bit. But yeah, they're out there, they're competing, and they're having so much fun, and I live for that. And so it's got me really amped up, for like men's league in the summer. Like, I want to get out and I want to compete. But competing with them in practice, maybe in a putting game, those are always fun. Except when I lose, that's not as fun when I lose the putting game.
That's good.
But it's great fun for the team. That's a team building. When coach goes down, it's a team building experience for everybody. But yeah, I know it's very cliche to say it's really hard to find negatives, but so far it has been. The success that we've had in these first couple of meets. The biggest negative is we did not win our invite yesterday. We got second place. We got beat by a really nice Johnson County Central team. They played really well. They had the first place finisher individually and a couple of medalists, and they really left everybody in the dust a little bit, and so that's going to be a little eye opening for us, that we're not going to just walk out and own everything. We got to earn it, and I know that the boys will be fired up and ready to go tomorrow.
And of course, like I said, having that camaraderie, and it's good that they're out there enjoying themselves and having fun, because now they're seeing the sport. It's not because we have to, it's because we want to. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's you said it exactly right. The want to, there is so much want to in those guys, and at every level. The little victories for those guys that have just taken up the game, improving that personal best by 5 strokes, or breaking that 60 barrier, or whatever that goal is of, I made my first par today, all those little things, and then all the way up to even, bigger accomplishments for those better guys. Hey, I shot my first sub 40 9-hole score, or, I made my first birdie ever today. Or, hey, I beat this guy who's been killing me for 2 years. He's been killing me. I beat him today. And not because he played bad, it was because I played good. So
Yeah.
those types of things, they keep you coming back. And yeah, it's fun to watch all of those little things add up as a cumulative positive for the team.
And of course, like you said, we're going through the skills, the talents working well so far. We're halfway through here. We're at the time of the recording. It's April 4th. And so you got some games behind you, some invites as well. Overall, your feel of the team so far, grading system, where would you grade yourselves at so far?
Yeah, I would say that the team as a whole, we've probably played maybe some B- golf.
Mm-hmm.
In competition. We've only had 2 meets. We've had a triangular on Tuesday, which was extremely windy, and we played against BDS and Centennial. Our varsity was able to take care of business there, beating Centennial by 20 and BDS by 40, collectively in the team score category. Carter Milton was our individual champion of that. There's no hardware for that. It's just a little triangular.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very happy also with our junior varsity team performance. Our junior varsity team shot very well and actually beat the BDS varsity and tied the Centennial varsity. So they showed that they came to play too, and then they showed it again on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we had our EMF Roy Horner invite at Friend Country Club, and it was again windy and chilly, but sunny. And so it actually, by the end of the day, it turned out to be a pretty nice day, if you don't mind being blown around a little bit.
It wasn't as bad, I guess.
It wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
But I know in terms of how we played, there was a couple of the varsity guys that didn't exactly put excuse me, didn't put their best 18 together. We had some good 9s. Carter Milton finished 3rd. He dropped a few strokes on the back. He was tied for the lead after 9, and dropped a few strokes on the backside to finish in 3rd. So still a great effort, but came up a little short. I know his expectation was to win that tournament, but he'll get more opportunities here. And then Draven Payne came out and probably had the best hole of the day, playing it. And again, I know if you don't know anything about Friend Country Club, this is not going to make any sense, but on par 4, number 6, playing from the blue tees, which stretches it to probably almost a 500-yard par four. He made a par into that 20-mile-an-hour wind. And I didn't look through every single scorecard, but I cannot imagine that there were too many pars on that particular hole. And that helped him in finishing the day with a 90, which was good enough for 7th place in the tournament. And so extremely proud of his effort. And he's really grown in these last couple of years. Everybody else had ups and downs and didn't exactly put together what they're capable of, which that's golf. I mean, and then on the JV side, Cohen Hari was decided he wanted to make me look like a terrible coach for not putting him in the varsity lineup. And he, as a JV competitor, shot a 91, which, if you remember, I just told you that Draven got 7th place with a 90. So
Wow.
had he been in the varsity competition, he would have probably placed 8th. But that decision was made via playoff or last week, and so he did not play quite that well during the playoff, he'll admit, and so did not earn the varsity spot. But coming out in a JV capacity, he definitely showed that he's got potential going forward, as did the other JV competitors. They all showed that they have what it takes to, if not this year, in future years, compete at the varsity level. And I'm excited about that.
Great to hear. Coach Nick joining me on one-on-one. So with the time of this recording, dates looking ahead, games of importance here for you guys going forward here in the month of April and swinging through into May.
Well, we have the Syracuse Invitational tomorrow, which was a reschedule from last Wednesday. And really excited about this meet. We see, I'm not positive, but about a handful of our district competitors we'll see at this meet. So we'll get a chance to see how we stack up against them. That's always important to see where you measure up in terms of those district expectations. And then next week on Wednesday, we'll be competing in the Milford Invitational. I'm going to be gone, and the seniors will be gone for our senior sneak trip to Galveston. So Coach Marr is going to be taking the boys. And so we'll have Draven and Andrew will be with me. So we'll have a couple of other spots open up for some of those JV guys to slide up and see what they can do at the varsity level over in Milford. Looking into possibly next Thursday following that, having a meet in Red Cloud that was not previously on the schedule. We used to go as Exeter Milligan. We used to go to that meet, but with the co-op, the schedules were changed a little bit, and that meet got left off. But we're finding that it might be a valuable meet to take a JV team to. And so we might kind of take some of those guys that are either borderline varsity guys or trying to climb their way up into the conversation of, maybe the top of the JV ranks, getting some guys out there to get them an 18-hole score that they can put down and show what they can do. And that's about it for that week. And then the following week, we go to Clay Center or for Sandy Creek Invite, and very excited about that. Carter Milton won that tournament last year. He's looking to repeat and win that tournament again this year. I'm excited for him to have that opportunity. And then that's next Tuesday, or excuse me, not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after, the 16th. And then the 17th, David City Invitational. And then we'll round out April with a big week on the 22nd, a duel versus Southern in Friend, an interesting Blue Hill Scramble Invitational out at Red Cloud on the 23rd, and then a Palmyra Invitational, Woodland Hills, and Sutton Invitational in Sutton to round out April. So that, by my count, after next week, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 meets in 13 days, 14 days, 7 meets in 14 days.
Not bad.
So, yeah, definitely a grind. But like I said, I think the group that we have welcomes that grind, and so long as they keep themselves on the up and up with their schoolwork, then they'll be the ones that that earn those positions will be out there fighting with us and trying to bring some trophies home for the Bobcats.
Perfect. Well, I know your time's precious. Our last question here. What do you want to tell the listening audience and ones watching here what to look forward to here with boys golf this season?
Two things. The first thing is play golf. It's it's a great outdoor activity. Even if it's something as simple as taking your kids to the putting green and letting them knock a ball around. If you want to try and get your kids into golf, please reach out to me via email or call the school. Coach Clues over in Friend. I know her and I worked with the girls in the fall. So boys and girls, we want to build a Bobcat golf program that strikes fear into the hearts of the Nebraska golfing community. We have such a wonderful facility over in Friend at the country club.
Yes, top notch.
Just the pride that comes from hosting an invite at such a beautiful golf course. Big shout out to Logan Becca, the greenskeeper over there, and his staff, and the clubhouse staff. They were absolutely amazing. Great food for the players, great atmosphere, and great course conditions considering the wind we had to deal with. But get into golf if you can. If you're looking for something to do as a family, you don't have to go out and buy $1,000 worth of golf clubs and fancy shoes and it. You can get a bucket of dirty old balls and grandpa's old 7-iron from the basement, and you can go knock a golf ball around. And I'm not going to pan over, but there's probably, I don't know, 150 golf clubs sitting in my classroom right now that are for sale, donation, borrow, rent, whatever. I mean, if you need a golf club, I can get you set up. I've got all sorts of clubs that if somebody wants to try it out. And Coach Clues and I are in discussions about trying to figure out some sort of youth camp over the summer. So stay tuned for that. When we get that figured out, we'll definitely pass that along to you so you can send it out to your fan base.
There you go.
But as far as the golf meet goes, or excuse me, the golf team goes, the only thing I can say is don't sleep on the Cats. We've been bumped up to Class C this year with the co-op, but I don't see that as a hindrance. I see that as an even better opportunity for our boys on a larger stage against better competition to really shine. And if you can come out and support the boys on the 22nd at our duel versus Southern and Friend, I know that they'd love to have. It'll start. I believe that starts at 4:00. We'll be playing through 6 or so. I know some of them love to see fans out there. Some of them not so much. But I think for most of them, as long as it's not their mom, they're good with anybody watching them play golf. And so, just when you see those Bobcat golfers out there on the course, if you're out there, tell them that you're rooting for them. We're gonna do our best to represent these three communities, Exeter, Milligan, Friend, to the best of our abilities, and we hope that not only our golf but our sportsmanship, our etiquette, and everything else that goes along with golf, our integrity, all those things show the rest of the state that that the Cats are here to stay. So
Couldn't have said any better myself, my friend. Coach Nick of boys golf, of course, good luck with everything. We'll keep up to date. I know you send the stats and whatnot and the results, and we will have a broadcast or two coming up too. So stay tuned on social media for that. But can't wait to see how everything goes, my friend. And hey, who knows? Maybe we'll go back to state again. Who knows? So
yeah, very excited. We've got a lot of work to do before then, but that is the ultimate goal: is to send a group of kids up to Columbus for districts, and then send them back to Columbus for state. Two different courses, but same city. So hopefully we'll be maybe a little bit familiar with the drive at least.
That's all right. Can't wait to see how everything goes. Coach Nick of EMF Golf, boys golf, looking pretty good this year. Thanks again, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.